Hello, welcome to 1 Hour SaaS. My name is Mubashir Iqbal. Everybody calls me Mubs. I am building a SaaS business in just 1 hour a day. This is update for hour number 42 of building podcast ping, uptime monitoring built for podcasters. So today I carried on what I started yesterday, which was to build out this kind of side project that I came up with as a way to promote podcast ping. And so I had built out the static version of the home page for podcast hosting.review. And so today I kind of focused on just actually building out the functionality so that we could actually have a website. And so it kind of made good progress. Kind of started out by just thinking about the data models that we have. So we obviously have a host. We have different kinds of reviews. It might be a blog post, might be a video on YouTube or something like that. They have the actual reviews themselves. So this is all the information about the reviews. I added something to make this so you could feature hosts. And then this is just the media. So for the images, I'm using the Spathy media library package to kind of manage all the media for the hosts and the reviews. So there's a image for the host logo and screenshots and kind of things like that. So my original plan was to actually just kind of hop into something like SQL Pro and just kind of go into these reviews and just go in and manually enter the information in here. Just use something like this just so we could get the bare bones minimum functionality out there that we would need to actually launch the MVP. And then when I started to do that, I was like, oh, this is gonna be a pain, because you have, like I said, you've got reviews and hosts. We need to be able to sync them, and so I'd have to go look up IDs and figure out what the IDs of the kind of things were. And then same with the media, I'd have to like create the images and upload them, and and then somehow link them. And so I decided it was worth the few minutes, really, because it would take to build kind of an admin panel. And the reason I say it takes a few minutes was I decided I was going to use Laravel Nova here. And if you haven't seen Laravel Nova, you should check it out, because it allows you to build not necessarily full customer facing content management systems, but in instances where you want to manage the content, but you don't want, you don't need really a full custom built kind of content management system, and it's more for kind of admin-y stuff like this. It actually works really well, and it's really fast in terms of putting that stuff, being able to put those forms together. So you can create a sort of admin panel just for you, or kind of a handful of people. It is customizable. I'm just saying it's not customizable easily. So in terms of the amount of time that you have, obviously you want to take that into account in terms of, it's not good for customer facing stuff, but it's good enough for if a site that you're kind of operating kind of on your own. And so you can see how there's a form, there's a whole section for the hosts, and you can see all the fields, and you can edit the fields. So this is the name of the host, the tagline we want to use, the description, the URL, all that kind of stuff. And then this is where we have the media library stuff to be able to manage all that stuff. And then you can set the publication dates, things like that. That's just one of the images. And then the same for the reviews. Kind of gives you kind of handy drop downs here. That's all just based off of the relationships that you set up in the Eloquent models inside of your code. So it's all very, very quick to build up this kind of interface, which allows you to kind of admin and manage all of this stuff. And then obviously, if we decide that this is something that we're going to pursue for a little bit more after we built out the initial version and stuff, it's very easy to kind of build more functionality into this and to customize it, so it's a little bit easier to kind of work with and things like that. So so I use that to kind of enter all of the content, and I've only just put in one review here. I put in one host. Like I said, there's a couple of review types, because I imagine there will be instances of blog posts and YouTube videos and kind of things like that. And And then so on the front end, I kind of built out that functionality. So you can kind of see that there's only a featured host here. And this is now actually using the images that were passed into here. The one thing I haven't quite figured out is how to do this rating thing, because it's going to be hard to get ratings from a lot of these reviews. They're actually not going to have like a score. You kind of have to do some kind of reading and kind of it sounds like they like this host, or it sounds like they're not really too hot on it, and kind of things like that. So we'll have to figure that bit out. Not quite sure how we're going to do that yet. And then this is one of the reviews, and it's using the linked host here to pull the info from here. And then this is the actual review title and stuff, and it links out to the URL for that particular review. It doesn't work yet because I haven't got around to building that yet. And then so the bit that's really left still to do with this is to actually for a host to actually view that. So it's going to be very similar to this page, except in this header area we'll have the host information, and then underneath it we'll just have the reviews that are for that particular host. And so I think it's going to be pretty simple to get that built out in the next hour or so. And so we'll kind of take it from there. And then I think the only other bit of functionality that we want to do is, something to allow people to submit or suggest a host, or to add a review to an existing host as well. And that would probably be, just a very simple form, so it won't take very long to build that out. And then I think the only other bit of functionality is just obviously things like open graph sharing tags, so that when things get shared on Facebook and Twitter and sort of those places, it looks nice. And then other than that, it's just kind of a way to tie everything back into Podcast Ping, so that we can kind of start to promote that as well. Might actually use it to promote Pod Hunt as well, since I have that in the same kind of world. Obviously, if somebody's looking for a podcast host, they'll have episodes that they want to promote and kind of things like that as well. So hopefully we can spread the word about Pod Hunt and Podcast Ping all throughout this little pseudo podcast network that I'm starting to build that I hadn't really planned on. But that's it for today. So in the next hour, so tomorrow, I hope to get this kind of 99% of the way there in terms of all the functionality and stuff. I might even try and get it hosted just so I can start to collect some of her reviews, and so start to kind of build that out. And then Monday or Tuesday we should be able to start sharing this out, and hopefully drive some interest in Podcast Ping as well. But yeah, so that's the update for today. Pretty happy with the progress, and hopefully by tomorrow we'll have something that we can that I can start sharing, so people can come and have a look. So talk to you then.